They're taking you over the border.
Let's talk a little bit more about our first series of the day, because I think what you saw from Virtus.Pro yesterday, turning things around, VG.Reborn, we touched on the mid matchup. They may be headed in the other direction. They looked very solid coming in the first series of the tournament against Na'Vi last night. Mikasa definitely looked as a stand-in, but that really wasn't their other problem. That wasn't their only problem. In that first game last night, they lost every lane. What do you think, other than that mid lane, they need to do differently today, guys?
I mean, you're talking about game one. For me, I think game two was not on Mikasa entirely. Like there were a lot of other mistakes. You go back to the way the game developed. Mikasa's losing the mid lane, right? He's not having a great time of it, but they get a really farm gyrocopter with a fast BKB. Darkseer gets an early mech. I think went into Vanguard, and I know Ryuu and you brought up maybe that should have been a Blink Dagger. But for me, like the bigger issue was they took a huge 4-man push down the Radiant bottom lane, pushing onto the dire side of the map. They didn't have the gyrocopter there. Like that, to me, was where the game really was decided, because up until then, FY had been playing fantastically, had created space. Death Prophet can come back. You just take a bunch of towers, you get that first basic survivability item. Suddenly, she's not easy prey, but they fought without the gyro. So to me, it was more like the team shot calling that really did
Exactly. It felt like a miscommunication at that point, because they pushed out, I think, the mid lane, and then the top lane was in a favorable position for them, and they smoked up, and they run to the bottom lane. They're ready to take the fight, and then they see nobody, their smoke wears off, and then they're like, okay, top lane's not in a favorable position anymore. Gyro heads up there, and then they pick a fight, and DP ults even as the fight's being taken. So it's like, oh my god, not even is this a disastrous fight because you know you're fighting 4v5, you blow your DP ult. So for the next 2 minutes, you cannot take an engagement. And then we just saw a succession of disconnection from their team. People getting picked off with only 2 heroes showing mid. They get shackled by Dendi, which is, of course, a beautiful shackle, and then like Ryuu was commenting on, the Maelstrom bounce hits the lion in the trees. He can't blink and like assist his gyrocopter. They lose 2 heroes there. Then another hero dies right afterwards, and you could see they kind of just like crumbled right after that bottom situation. It was such a disconnection between all 5 players.
Yeah, and I mean, even after the gyro's not there, they have the bad fight. Like, you know Death Prophet ult's on cooldown, you need to play really passive Dota. But they didn't do that, and they got caught repeatedly. So I think it was the team shot calling as much as anything. I also think there are ways to address the Mikasa issues. Like, they picked Queen of Pain for him the other day. We've seen, when Alliance doesn't want to give S4 help, which is most of the time he doesn't get too much, they pick up something like a Puck or the Quap. So more survivable heroes that are tougher for an Enchantress to gank or for an Io to punish. I think either Vici needs to really emphasize giving Mikasa the help, or just get him a hero that doesn't need help as much.
We kind of talked about it a bit last night. Not like extensively, but just how they need to be a bit more proactive in their laning phase. Rather than just kind of sitting back and just, playing their lanes, they need to make those moves. Go to where they feel that their strength is. Just like we saw OG do as well yesterday. We saw they were like, oh man, our lanes are kind of weird this game, so we're just gonna go to our doom and we're just gonna punish this Batrider constantly, and they did that. And you could see the supports in that game won them the game just because of the decision-making, because of the communication. So that's what I really want to see Vici do. I want to see the 2 supports link up. I want to see them making the plays. I want to see them helping out the other lanes as much as possible, not trying to stay idle in any of them.
Well, let me actually ask you to expound on a point that you started to bring up earlier, Fogged, and that's, I really feel like, especially at these LAN events, one of the big differences between teams is, in terms of experience, how do you respond from that big engagement that goes against you, right? We saw VG.R yesterday, I felt, in a couple of cases, they lost that one big game-turning fight, and they just kind of didn't know what to do after that. They lost a lot of that direction. Can you talk a little, especially at a LAN event, how much experience is important in responding in situations like those?
I mean, it happened, You can't just be like, oh, what do we do now? Like, you have to just right away respond. We have 4 heroes dead. They're pushing buildings and everything. You have to just try to do something. It's like, all right, gyrocopter, try to play in their jungle, play aggressively all over the place, do whatever you can. But more so, just keep your mentality good, no matter what. Because, okay, you lost that fight. It happens. Things go wrong. Nobody can be perfect.
You don't get it back. You can't reset it. You don't get to try it again. There's a new game now, basically. And
exactly.
You have to play around it.
So you have to just stick to your mind and just be like, we still have this strong draft. Our gyrocopter's enormous because he had BKB, MKB. You could see he had like 13K net worth at one point, and then I think Dendi was the next person at 10K or something.
They won
even when Na'Vi had just won like 4
fights in a row, and he was still more farm than them. But
yeah, you could see like he didn't even get to use those items basically because the fights were just such a disaster with the way they were taken after that succession of like mishaps. But like you were saying, you have to keep your cool no matter what. Just it happened, and then you have to get good defensive wards up. If they have a Roshan or something, just know what we need in order to fight. Identify what the mistakes were in those last engagements, and do not allow that to happen again. It's like, okay, we messed up because Gyrocopter wasn't there, but what else could have been better? All right, we need a Blink Dagger on Darkseer for this fight to go better. We need, like, the Lion had Blink Dagger at that point, I'm pretty sure, too, but maybe he needs to have, like, a better understanding of where he needs to be positioning in this one, because I think he got shackled in the front in that engagement, too, which was very uncharacteristic.
Right.
It's not a position for him to be. So just identify what went wrong in that fight, even though the Gyrocopter wasn't there either. So just knowing what to do for the later on fights is definitely keeping it in your mind.
And what about VP? Because VP is a team that's going in the other direction. He looked absolutely disjointed at the start of the tournament, and then all of a sudden yesterday turns around, has the 2 great games, one with the push strat, the other with the FNG Broodmother. How do you make sure in that situation where you really were not where you wanted to be at the beginning of the tournament, suddenly you have this momentum? Anything in particular that you do to really try and keep that success going?
I just honestly blanked out. I was looking at the screen because it said Aloha Dance was playing Broodmother, and I got really confused for a second.
I was like, have I just not been, watching the Dota?
Yeah,
lately?
I was like, wait, Aloha played Broodmother? But I guess it was just a little bit of a thing.
You start questioning like your ability as an analyst. It's like, I don't even know who their offlaner is.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
Ugh.
Come on, guys, you're throwing production under the bus here.
No. I'm
No,
saying
no.
we should know as
Oh,
well.
I got no. That's okay. We're all getting buried in some Russian.
But
yeah,
I mean, I think for me, I really feel VP needs to get out to a good start. Like, that to me is probably the biggest aspect of their game plan for this series. They have not shown much ability to come back in games. It's generally been playing from a lead and converting it. So I would like to see them draft something with really strong lanes, a playmaking support like the Earth Spirit, a strong pressure laner like the Broodmother, or at least something for G that doesn't require too much farm and comes online pretty early. Like, I think for VP it's very important to get that edge, or maybe prioritizing Dire side or early Roshan heroes like that. That's probably for me where they're going to shine the most.
Yeah, I really liked a point that you made before, how when they picked the FNG Broodmother, it wasn't just to have like a Broodmother and it's okay, it's really annoying. It keeps the supports in that lane, so it gives G that 1v1 potential and it lets him show his own personal skills.
Yeah, G is a snowball player. He's been that way for a long time. Not to say he's incapable of coming back, but he shines by far the most when he has that good start.
Yeah, and that was
Absolutely.
a big problem for them in the first series they played in the tournament. They kind of got backed into picking him the Zeus. He really got picked on in lane, a hero that's definitely susceptible to those early rotations, and you just saw a world of difference. I mean, he took over that match with Invoker yesterday.
I would love to see a G Quap. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it out of the hat.
Quap's doing really well in this tournament.
I mean, after CTY, G is the Quap player for me. So.
Quap is undefeated in this tournament.
It's undefeated, right? It's 5-0, I believe?
5-0 in the tournament after being 7-22 in pro matches between Shanghai and now.
And if you told me Quap is undefeated and will be undefeated in this tournament, before the event begins, I would have said, okay, well, who's playing it? G, top of the list, but haven't seen it yet. I like the Juggernaut pick as well. Again, it's a hero that, I mean, Jug obviously isn't the strongest laner, but he's also somewhat self-sufficient, very difficult to gank. I think a lot of it's the same for the G side as for Mikasa, but the difference is more G can win that 1v1 matchup if you give him the good hero. For Mikasa, it's about like limiting the damage. He doesn't have to win the lane. They just need it to not go terribly.
Right. A couple of teams, that's been one of the big surprises in the meta to me in this tournament, is that a couple of teams have gone with that mid Juggernaut, and it really makes a lot of sense when you think about it. You're seeing some heroes like Puck picked mid that they are ranged, but he's not necessarily the best right-click harasser, and a lot of the ganks that we're seeing off these early rotations are coming via Earth Spirit, who really relies on those spells, of course, to gank. Juggernaut's got that get-out-of-jail-free card in his Blade Fury.
Yeah, and he's gotten buffed quite a bit with the Blade Fury when you max it, the mana cost being lower, and was it the cooldown got reduced as well? So you're even less susceptible to those ganks than like the old Juggernaut, who's more about the crit build and right-clicking with Mask of Madness. The good
Aquila
old days.
Mask of Madness.
Just AFK, a click down the bottom lane.
Are you an agility hero? Yes. Mask of Madness? Yes. Aquila? Yes. Calling Blade? Yes. Good.
Scotty, if it goes on.
We got the flow chart, guys. We got the checklist.
Check.
So those days are gone, but I think Earth Spirit is the key hero that the Jug mid really deals with. And wow, we're right into the draft.
Wow.
So we have seen this a lot this tournament. The FY Bounty Hunter getting banned first phase. It's interesting to get some teams. It's largely ignored. Or Spirit banned by VG.R.
No
so-
hesitation on these bans
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And this is something I thought
Scripted.
I thought you were going to see this, because this is something that FNG really went to in those last couple of games yesterday. He had a very clear plan, and I think this is legitimate in terms of putting pressure on the opponent. Who do you see as a first pick right now coming out for VP? The Invoker is on the table for G.
Beastmaster is a big one. I think probably Invoker or OD is the most. Well, I don't know if they're most likely. If they go for either of those, quite likely VGR responds with a Doom. We've seen the Chinese teams really turn to that a lot, and VGR definitely known for running it for FY. So. Oh, Chen.
Wow.
Chen, they're going back to. Yeah, I was gonna say I was expecting to chime in and just saying it's either Chen or Invoker. I feel like, and they're probably discussing that, like which one they feel is stronger at this point.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised with it. I mean, VP not necessarily known as a Chen team, but then again, you can't argue with that success that they had in Game 2 yesterday, running that huge push strat.
Yeah, I actually was lucky enough to talk to FNG on the day that I arrived here, and he said we have a couple strategies, not too many, but we have a couple, and we're going to hope that these can work out in this, and that we can develop them as a team as the tournament progresses.
This
and
is time to bring it out.
Exactly, and we saw yesterday their comeback was basically they first picked the Chen, they picked your kind of like cheese lineup that you were saying, and then the next game they picked the first pick Invoker.
So they get the Beastmaster that I mentioned, and then into a Sven pick.
It's been banned every game versus
Yes,
VGR
it
so
has.
far in the
It
first
has.
two, the Sven.
Yeah, people really fearing that ZYF Sven, and it's a hero that he's had a lot of success with coming into this tournament. Again, though, the only problem that I see with those first two picks is that you leave the Invoker on the table for them to pick up with at the end of the first phase.
And Invoker is quite good against both
But
of those heroes, I would
They
say.
did take, I think, they took the Witch Doctor in the first two as well yesterday, right? With the
Yes.
Chen, and it was versus a Beastmaster as well. So they could be looking toward that. I don't think they're going to look toward the Doom because that would be really weird for
But the Witch
for
Doctor
VP,
right
but
now, I mean, assuming that VGR saw that series yesterday, the Witch Doctor is like the obvious phase 2 ban right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll
I
see.
mean, I
if
think it would
VP
be great
chooses
for
that.
them as well to have against the Chen rotations early on, and also with a Beastmaster Sven. Like that's a pretty good death ball come the mid game. So
Yeah, I feel like that's
it's a
one
hero both teams could consider.
one big underrated aspect of stopping the push is that you gotta have the active supports with the D push.
So we'll see where they go from here, heading into phase 2. Mr. Fogged forgot to join the lobby, so we're just waiting for the draft to show
I
again.
loaded up Dota 2 and everything, man.
Damn it, Yannis, get it together.
No, but I feel like both teams really got what they wanted out of that first phase. I think both teams have got to be feeling pretty confident. Like you say, the ZYF Sven, I think, is the big thing. When you know that you're going to have to spend a lot of your team's attention and resources protecting that mid matchup, I think it's really important to put your safe lane carry on a hero that he feels individually confident with.
Yeah.
So Juggernaut's a big hero as well if we were talking about the ability to heavy push.
Did you go for the Invoker?
I mean, obviously at that point it wouldn't be a mid Juggernaut, but it could fit in if VP want a committed push. I don't know if they really want to like all in on a push though. I think they have the option of it, but getting some late game insurance, getting some ability to take those fights is important as well. And
Yeah, that's
There's the Witch
it is the
beautiful.
VGR
That was
Witch Doctor.
so smart by Vichi. I was like, are they going to ban the Witch Doctor? Or are they going to ban something else and take the Witch Doctor for themselves because it's incredibly good versus the Chen. So that was
Yeah.
just great heads up play by Vichi there.
Good recognition by them.
The one ban, guys, that stands out as being really unusual to me is the Void ban. We haven't seen that hero pretty much all tournament long.
He's super annoying for Sven to deal with. You have a hero that relies on his BKB a lot, needs to get up close. Basically, I mean, the Void has to be drunk at the wheel to not chrono this. At least get the Sven into chrono. So I think it's a good ban in that sense.
With the Sven pick, is the Chaos Knight for Yoki that we saw in Game 3 yesterday still on the table? I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
I mean, I guess they could. You know, there is still an IO out there. It's not a hero VP is known for running much, but I suppose if they wanted to mix up, they could. But I think Sven deals with that really well. You've got Cleave to deal with the illusions, the Warcry really good against physical damage. So I think there are better options than a Chaos Knight.
Yeah, they also picked what Lycan yesterday, but I'm not sure if that's their option versus like Witch Doctor Sven and Beastmaster. Right? That's definitely not looking so hot.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Juggernaut for VP. Obviously, it wouldn't go mid, but against Sven's Warcry, Beastmaster with the Hawk in the board, a tank Omni Slash, just generally tanky heroes already. I don't know that he's that great here either. The thing about the Sven that's nice is it really precludes a Broodmother pick
I
as well.
was just going to mention that. It all but takes the Broodmother off the table that they ran yesterday.
Yeah, so VGR, it's not like they just want these heroes. They're also block picking a bit with the Witch Doctor. They're discouraging the Broodmother pick with the Sven. So you can see there's like another level to the way they're drafting here as well.
So you really though need, I feel like, a hard support here for VP. You got a lot after that Chen. You've really got to lock down a hard support here that can help whatever carry you're going to choose in lane. And there's the line. I think he's been, it's almost like, you transplanted Pylai Dai from Shanghai here because Lion has been by far the most stable hard support in this tournament.
The other big option along the lines of the line would have been a Shadow Shaman. It is a bit greedier, but could have offered more if they really wanted to commit to push. So this suggests to me that they're not as worried about like trying to end the game early or have that huge snowball lineup.
But we have seen a lot of these. I'm really happy to see the line too, just because we haven't seen a lot of these teams pick it up. And then it's really good with the Invoker too, because you can go for those solo plays like we've been seeing, like MMY doing and stuff. You just go in, you stun, Hex, Finger, Sunstrike on top. The line gets ton of experience, ton of gold, as well as the Invoker.
Yeah, well, if you're MMY and have the ability to magically create a Blink Dagger out of thin air in the first 12 minutes of the match, I still have no idea how that guy gets the fun.
I watched it. He's everywhere he needs to be every single time.
So for VGR, they do actually run like the greedy supports for FY, so entirely possible this is an FY Beastmaster here. It looks like it could also be a support Wind Ranger as well. Like
he has run that one. Yeah.
And you called that the other day, Fogg. To your credit, I did not quite believe you about the possible speed of an Iron Talon jungling Beastmaster. Is that as effective on Dire as it is on Radiant?
Yeah, it's just as effective.
Okay.
Iron Talon's always effective.
My gosh.
Yeah, it's just.
I think that's still an open question. It could be an FY Wind Ranger, it could be an offlane Beastmaster, it could be a greedy 4-position Beastmaster, potentially even the Wind Ranger for Mikasa, which I'm not sure how confident he is on the hero. I think he's played it a decent amount though, but it's not the easiest hero to gank. You have Wind Run. It's not a Quap or a Puck, but it's better than nothing in that regard. So
you saw VP, you saw OG go to that hero yesterday for Miracle, and it was very, very effective in the mid lane. Again, you have that sort of get out of jail free card in the Wind Run, and I really think. I actually like the Wind Ranger pick for Mikasa just because he's shown himself, despite some of the problems that we had yesterday, he's shown himself to be a very, very mechanically sound player in this tournament. And I feel like that's a hero that rewards those early laning mechanics.
Oh, VP, getting the hero to start the ganks, and this will be crucial for them to transition into a push with the Chen and the Invoker. So
guaranteed lockdown through BKB for the Sven as well, just in case they need it. Definitely a good pickup there for them. Pressures the offlane, forces supports to still be there.
Guys, Edge
and it gives their initiator. It gives their initiator.
I really like this. I really like this VP draft so far.
Yeah, we're gonna see a fun vision game as well. Beastmaster really good at scouting out those Batrider spoke ganks early on if the Hawk's in the right position. So
what are we looking at for Mikasa here? Death Prophet's banned. Queen of Pain's banned. That's the only two we've seen him play this game.
You're that confident? You really are.
I think it's
on
VG.
board
I think
with
it's
this FY Windrunner.
I think it's FY Windrunner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
VP don't know, though, and that's the thing that's cool about the draft from their perspective. Is like, well, we're going to ban the Death Prophet. We think it's a Mikasa hero coming, but, I mean, we have seen FY run Jungle Beastmaster in this tournament, and he crushed that one game. So, VGR, they could pull a fast one here. But, yeah, assuming that it is going to be a Mikasa hero, TA used to be one of his staples. Lina was a go-to hero for him. Trying to think what else. Mikasa has played a lot of Shadow Fiend's no longer really a strong pick.
The way I see it, if FY is, if you're going to have an,
Dragon Knight would get crushed, man.
I think Lina was banned in the 5th ban versus them yesterday too, so that could be an interesting pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, at one point he was the mid player for CDEC before Shiki ended up stepping in. So he was playing a lot of the same heroes, and they kind of built their strategies around those picks. So yeah, I think Lina's pretty solid here. Good at countering the Batrider initiation once she gets like the Yule Scepter. Gives you tons of burst against a Ched. You really want to kill someone quickly before Hand of God comes out. Is a bit vulnerable to ganks, though, and that may means not the best option. Puck is also out there. Yeah. If they want someone who's more survivable.
I feel like the lion pick kind of pushed away any type of like Puck picking up.
That's true.
I mean, it's good versus the Batrider. It's great versus the Invoker and everything, but Lion innately is just incredibly good versus Puck.
Just poops on the Puck.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I was going to say, Vici Gaming would, I feel like they'd like to have some AoE here.
But it is in fact the FY Jungle Beastmaster, so VG they fooled Virtus.Pro. Virtus.Pro banned a Mikasa hero, so you gotta give FY credit for.
At the same time though, I don't think this is desperation time though for VP. I mean, they've got the Batrider. It doesn't. I don't feel like they're by any means screwed.
The Brood is really good in lane this game. Not necessarily so good later on. Bat probably the best hero along with the man formerly known as Storm Spirit, who is now totally irrelevant at hunting Brood.
Yeah,
Ember.
Boy, quick
VP.
picks, guys. Yeah, I think VP has what they need.
Yep, I'm going for VP this time.
I don't have much confidence in VGR because of how long it took them to pick the Brood more than anything. I'm not sure that they necessarily wanted to, and they're like, well, is this going to be... I don't know if they knew how the Beastmaster was going to be played, so... I actually don't mind the VGR draft, but I don't think they're very confident in it, so yeah.
All right, let's throw it out to our casters, KotLGuy and Ryuu.
Thank you so much, Alan, here in the Cybersport Arena, of course, with my good buddy, Ryuu. Ryuu, the panel seems to think this is going to be a Virtus.Pro game. What do you think, though? Vichi Gaming with that crafty little Broodmother 5th pickup. What are your thoughts?
Well, they have a lot of ways to deal with it, the Ember Spirit, the Bat Rider. So even if one of them goes around ganking, I think they're going to be able to shut him down effectively. And yeah, it's just going to come down to FY. How much can he put this team on his back? Can he be that fast, Enigma pace jungling that we've seen from him? Can he start getting into the team fights early? But if he can, I think he can be the tempo controller they desperately need.
Both of these teams were the underdogs of this tournament. You got to consider as we get hyped up and ready to go, folks, our first series here of day number 3. And here we go. Obviously, Virtus.Pro, the hometown crowd cheering for them. Vichi Gaming Reborn here, looking to make a huge stride. And as I was about to say, both these teams underdogs for this tournament. Obviously, Virtus.Pro, last-minute replacements to take over for Vichi Gaming. And for Vichi Gaming Reborn, and unfortunately for them, Nono unable to get that visa to participate. Mikasa had to step in. He had a phenomenal day 1 performance. Yesterday, it was a bit of a struggle as Na'Vi were able to punish him continuously in that mid lane. We're going to have to see what kind of Mikasa is going to be showing up today. And, as the panel was alluding to and yourself, it's on FY, the Prince, to be able to kind of pull it together for his team.
Yep, they have already started off really nice here. They de-warded immediately. I think they just done a lot of replays on VP, knowing that they like to put that ward there. And they're just going to be hoping that Mikasa can just hold his own in the mid lane. That's when you pick Wind Ranger like this. You have the win run, so you're not able to get as ganked most of the time. You can be very elusive against the Chin, hopefully, but still, you have a Chin. If he gets, a Harpy, I am just going to be so worried for this man.
We'll see if the mighty frog above is going to be blessing VP with their Chen or not. And Yang actually going to be grabbing up that early bounty rune here. It looks like he's going to be taking his business towards the mid lane.
Yeah,
Brood.
We get some baby night action, guys.
Okay, so we'll see what kind of adjustments are going to be made. It looks like Yoku is also going to be in the mid lane here, Ryuu. So Ember versus Brood in the mid lane matchup. What do you think about that?
Man, they already scouted it out. VP are just one step ahead. They know that Brood was going to be going in this mid lane. It's just going to be a win now for VP, as well as the Wind Ranger in the off lane here. He's going to have a very hard time with Aloha down here, and I think it's you just want to have this play to catch the enemy off guard, but it didn't. So I don't know if it's going to work out for them. And Mikasa is just getting right-click down here in the bottom lane, trading last hits.
I mean, he thinks he can get some pot shots here for Aloha Dance, but he himself needs to be careful. Sunstrike's going to be there. One more auto attack would have done it, but he's going to be able to barely etch away from the trouble. And what do you do now if you're on the side of Vichi Gaming Reborn? Do you consider pulling out any sort of audible call to change the lanes up at this point, or do you just have to stand, plant, and just make the best of the situation?
I think getting the Brood at least level 3, if not 4, then rotating isn't that bad of a strategy, because he needs just to get those levels so he's not shut down immediately, and then he can start spawning his spiderlings, going and doing Brood things, just invading the jungle, and that could help him a lot. If Yang can take over the jungle and take it away from the Chen, we could see, the Chen being very underleveled or having to put pressure elsewhere on the map.
And we'll have to see if there's going to be a big conflict in the jungle action. It looks like they were able to get the early Satyr. It's hanging around at the top, so assisting FNG here. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if FNG is using the Satyr himself and they're sharing the control with it, but he has been trying his best to use it as a bouncer in the lane, and FNG is going to be able to creep in that CS. He's up to 3 and 2 now, trying his best to kind of hold his own in the 2v1 kind of a matchup. And no surprise, FY in his solo jungle, ramping up the highest CS in the game. He's going to almost play this similar to your Enigma, already level 3 at just about 2 minutes in. He begins to just continue to go to work. Should Virtus.Pro bother at all giving him the attention in the jungle, or should they just expect he's going to get what he needs there?
Well, the Chen could have maybe rotated over and helped, but he decided just to help out his offlaner here for FNG, and that's going to help out so much. And I mean, we saw how this coconut here didn't do anything against DDC. He's got 5 stacks. This is a dead witch doctor.
Oh, here he comes. He takes to the skies right now, and well, ZYF tries his best to help out, dishes
Oh, the
out the
sticky's
stun.
gone, no mana.
Just enough space. ZYF to the rescue to assist him out with that mighty stun here. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Yang eating a bit of pressure as Aloha Dance did rotate in.
FY is going to suicide. At least we'll get the, maybe the first death. No, he's going to.
Oh, he's like, well, now at this point, I might have to do the walk all the way back. Or no, he'll come over here and he's like, trolls want to put me out of my misery? No, he'll just stick with it for now and let his boars do the work for him.
All the dirty work. But so if he had maybe 30 or 40 more mana on the Batrider, he could have had like 7 to 8 stickies on him. Oh, and he would have just gotten run down, even with that beautiful stun coming out from ZYF.
Now look how things have turned out. The Brood is still able to match up as far as the CS goes, and for Yoku's side, can be inflated a little bit, taking down those little Broodlings, and they're still matching up even as far as the CS. So Yang actually holding his own pretty nicely here. Still need to get that Flying Courier, though, as we get past the 3-minute mark. Do you build this up pretty similar if you are in the mid lane Brood, Ryuu? Just go straight for the Soul Ring early on, or do you make any sort of variation in this particular setup?
I would go for the variation. When you look at mid Broods, you just have to go for a bottle, I think. But he, like I said, he can always transition into that jungle or to that offlane position where you want to have the Soul Ring. But having the bottle, it allows you to rune control, and then you can go for Aquila or something, and then you're having a lot of mana sustain, but it looks like he just wants to play this stock and standard.
Oh, well, you have to be careful, though. Smoke rotation coming in. Aloha Dance holds the dust here, and they're looking to make their move. They step in. The dust is going to be out, which will lead to the nice little stun. The Sunstrike's already there, and that is going to be your first blood. Yoku on the Ember Spirit will pick it up, and it is Virtus.Pro who will strike first.
I mean, even if that was a Wind Ranger in the mid lane, that was going to be a death. And
oh, yeah.
You just see how ineffective a Beastmaster can be in the early game rotation. So I was really happy to see them group up there. And FY, as we talked about, he is just going to have to get a lot done when he's level 6, but he's already level 5 at 4.5 minutes. This is just absurd right now. And we just have to see how much they're getting out from the other lanes. But, Sven's doing a good job here in the top lane. He hasn't died. We see a lot of teams, feed over against the Batrider. So at least that's a +1 for him.
Yeah, it got scary there for a while, but Sven is still able to hold his own in the lane and find a serious amount of farm. He's second in CS only to FY, his comrade there in the jungle. And look at this, they're looking to make their move, hoping to catch maybe some lucky bounces, or at least DDC will try his best to take away some of that stack here. And he's like, am I playing with fire right now? FNG says, what do you think you're doing, boy? And is just gonna run him down easily. Just makes quick work of the Doctor. How dare you mess with my stacks?
That's just, it's so deceptive how, 2 and then 3 stacks all of a sudden just start building up and you're just slowed forever. Not having boots against a Batrider it's a miserable feeling, Dakota. You just get run down.
Uh-oh, the gang squad's back. Aloha Dance and No Fear, arm in arm. The stacks are already building up. The stun's going to be there. The Sunstrike again is there. And, the Chen with the Seder Creep's going to be able to pick up the last hit. The global presence from G. No surprise we see this every time he picks up this Invoker, just always on the mark with those Sunstrikes. He's about to hit level 7 now.
Yeah, they have to start rotating into the bottom lane with somebody. Like, it has to be the Beastmaster or potentially even Sven, because they can't just let G have this free farm lane. That's the only person I can see right now where they can punish the most. Like, he's going to want to stay in the lane. He wants to play very aggressive against the Wind Ranger, and he's going to go for those right clicks. So how do you punish that? Well, you just smoke behind and gank.
FY has finally shown himself a little bit here on the battlefield. It looked like they might have made a go for No Fear here.
FY's in trouble.
Has been stolen, and he is getting a taste of his own medicine. Even the little rock golem's getting in on the action here, but FY will be able to make it away with assistance from DDC. So hot start already for Virtus.Pro, taking advantage of the weaker lane setup from Vichi Gaming and just already dishing out some serious rotations. Weight on the shoulders for FY. He's now level 6. They have the smoke. I'm sure VP are aware of this, and they are going to be playing a little on edge, anticipating that FY will make his appearance here soon.
Yeah, and they're going to leave the double damage rune. So that's a really good play at this own right. I mean, if you leave it there, you're going to give it to the Brood as well. Oh, he's going to scout that gank out. That
Aloha Dance, nice spotted right there.
Give me
and
that.
well,
FNG,
G and FNG here in the bottom lane. Couldn't anticipate this coming, but they're going to lead in with the roar. It's for the Batrider. The
Nice
power
shot.
shot is there. The right clicks come out, and it is going to be enough. VG.Reborn will finally get themselves on the board with that successful takedown.
Oh, and you have the Yang with the double damage here. Aloha get the stun off.
He is hustling in right there. Aloha Dance not going to be able to make it away. Nuke down from Yang. And VG.Reborn string together 2 and possibly a third here. A beautiful shackle shot will connect here for G. And another right click. It's Yang with the double kill on his Broodmother.
Yeah, that was just a little weird coming out from the Batrider there for FNG. He saw the rotations coming in from Aloha, as well as even the Forge Spirit scouting out, and then all of a sudden he doesn't pop Firefly to get extra vision or anything, and they just set up for that roar and then that nice shackle shot, and they were just able to just immediately, you know, take them down. And so this is a very good transition now for the Broodmother.
Yep.
He's coming to that bottom lane. He's being very proactive. He knows he can't go against the Ember Spirit, and now it looks like he's going to be taking over the jungle, and he's going to, you know, rapidly increase, you know, into, I'm curious to see what he goes for. I mean,
Yeah,
this
right?
is a very good Orchid game, but at the same time, I could see him go for, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a Radiance like the Baby Knight, but that's just a little crazy. We're not there yet.
Nonetheless, he will
No
have the time to build up those
conspiracies.
supplies. This is Yang's jungle now, and we could see Chen forced to kind of find somewhere else to work with his farm. For now, he does have a little bit of camps here to work with, but eventually VG.Reborn will look to take it as their own. VP have made their own rotation. Looks like G is going to take his business all the way up here to the top now. Loa Dance will babysit and kind of watch in the wings just in case. DDC needs to be careful. If he shows himself a bit too close, they could jump on him.
They have eyes touching each other right now. Look at these wards. Oh, hey, what's up? How's your day?
Little do they know, right
It's
next
just
to each
like-
other. Both the same cosmetic as well, interestingly enough. Very basic ward setup here. And, well, here comes ZYF now. They'll show themselves, but that will be the end of it here. FY back on the smoke now once again with that Primal Roar up. I mean, is this going to be the pattern here from VG.Reborn? Every time Primal Roar is up, it's let's look to make use of it.
Yep, that's what they're going to have to do. Shackle is going to...
Ooh, Yoku very thirsty to get a hold of a Tier 1 tower. Finds himself under a roar and under a lot of focus fire now. Oh, he makes it away. A Remnant back to the Tier 1. One more auto attack.
Oh, the
and he
coconut
can't make it away.
bounce.
The coconut bounce goes all the way.
You
But
got
he's going to be
Jen,
fine.
though.
Yeah, you have Jen. That's nice. We'll send him back to the base there, and he will avoid the trouble.
The backup plan is in there. And then now he can come back to the mid lane, and they took the tower. It was denied, but still the pressure's mounting.
Yep. Here
VP
they
are
come.
not happy about that bottom skirmish.
Oh, even FNG spotted out, though, between those boards. They knew trouble was coming in from the south, and VG.Reborn will reposition here. And, in fact, hang out by the side shop on this one. But this is a full pressure coming out from Virtus.Pro. We saw this in their matchup against
they
Vega.
can do it. They
They're
can do
going.
it.
I mean, what can
No, FY
VG.Reborn can do to stop them?
Well, I mean, if Aloha Dance plays that aggressive, he might just die. But look at Yoku.
He's all aggression here. Goes right for DDC.
They just
Thinks
can't...
about the Remnant bounce back. Still not going to be enough on the other
Lasso.
side, though. A lasso's going to be on FY. They pull him back. The stun's going to be a miss,
Yoku.
but it doesn't matter. They're going to be able to get
He's
him.
fine.
Hand of God is going to be coming out, and it will be the FY takedown. FNG gets what he needs and turns his attention towards the bottom lane. Yang kind of giving FNG a bit of what he gave to Vega yesterday and just trying to split push, and VG.Reborn just doing their best in the 5 versus 4 situation.
No, that's just really good understanding from VP. They know they're stronger in the 5-man. You have a Broodmother who doesn't have, you know, the first item online that could really help out in team fights. You also have the Beastmaster Roar down. So what do? You just pressure and then you get these, you know, pickoffs there. Sad they didn't get the Tier 2 tower, but still they didn't lose any map control, at least with the FNG rotation to the bottom.
And FNG looking to quickly burn up some little pesky spiders here. Yang will just have to take his business to the jungle and wait till the lane pushes out a bit more here. And how about for G? He's got what's considered now the Arteezy buildup. He's got the early Aquila, went right for the Midas. And also will be looking to pick up a Tier 1 tower, so his economy really boosting up quite a bit. And as we see, Yoku also picks up his fancy little ruby red shoes. He's got the boots of travel ready to go, so he is a global presence and can definitely engage in these fights when necessary.
Yep.
But all the meanwhile here, VG.Reborn head into the pit to battle it out with the Roche. It is quickly spotted out from G as he plops down the Sunstrike, but that does not deter VG.Reborn from getting the job done.
Yeah, it's just one of those plays in Dota where you just go for that Tier 1 tower top lane, and then all of a sudden, you know, you see VG just go for Roshan. There's just sometimes you just can't do anything about it. So those are the standard trades in Dota. It's not a bad one because it does give a lot of space for your Ember Spirit and, you know, to get up to his next item, which is that Boots of Travel now. So he's going to be split pushing very effectively, and as well as the Invoker. The biggest thing for him is, right, he got the Midas, but he hasn't acquired the levels yet. He's still level 9. He needs to start getting, you know, that, maybe the drums as his next item, and then they're going to be in good tip-top fighting shape.
Looks like Virtus.Pro have been taking residence here in the Vici Woods. Uh-oh, they spotted out a little doctor here, and we will look at him go. That's a Sunstrike, that's some right click, even a bounce of a Flame Break, and they make quick work of the support, and they will turn this into some momentum pushing in for the tier 2. They are looking to just rid the map of all this free money as fast as possible. But hey, as a good response here, look at Yang, bottom lane, totally taken over. That tier 2 in the bottom lane's gone, and even some pressure possibly coming out from the mid lane too. FY does drop a ward right between the 2 towers here, so this could be their next battlegrounds in this mid lane.
Yeah, but that was still good rotation coming in from VP going for the top. It's very bad idea right after Roche dies to go for that tier 2 in the bottom lane. Else there's going to be a lot of rotations. Even if it's a Brood just, you know, constantly pressuring there, there can always be more. So, but with the Aegis advantage now and a lot of pressure being applied, I don't know if VP want to necessarily fight yet. They're going to need to have a really good smoke gank to set things up, and they were basically waiting for, you know, them to get maybe a little bit too aggressive for VGR, keep pressuring somewhere, and then you saw how the Witch Doctor was like maybe trying to set up something for top lane, and then all of a sudden he gets picked off. But it looks like we're not going to have a long pause, and that's what I like to see. Let's get back underway.
Yeah, I mean, let's not stall things out, gentlemen. We got Dota to play here. Now, there are some stacks built up over here as a nice little offshore account for Virtus.Pro. And it is something that already has been acknowledged from Virtus.Pro. We saw G circle it out, so they anticipated something that they could fall back on. I don't know if they want to consider contesting it, but we'll have to see what the timing is going to be here as far as going for it or not. But we have a 5-man movement now. Virtus.Pro going on the move. FNG has that Blink Dagger here, has a Dust ready to go if they want to go for a Brood Hunt. He leads out the charge, smoked up. Coconut between the creeps, going to be spotted. FNG makes his grab. It's going to be on the DDC. They'll pull back the Witch Doctor here, and obviously it looks like it will be a sacrifice from VG.Reborn. Yoku will pick up the last hit.
He's like, thank you for getting me one step closer to my Battle Fury. I will gladly take that kill. But FY has done a really good job, you know, scouting out there. I was very surprised that, you know, they didn't immediately back out because they had the vision with the Hawk, they had the vision with the Ward scouting out. So letting your Witch Doctor die there, it's not the biggest thing, but still, giving away kills to, you know, an Ember Spirit, it's, I mean, you're just increasing his, meanwhile, top lane, they're going on
making
him.
a move for ZYF. He had been quietly to himself in the top lane. There's going to be the jump in. The chains are not going to be there, but he's still getting burnt up.
TP on CD for 7 seconds. That is so unfortunate.
And he's not going to be able to make it away anywhere. Even Aloha Dance getting in on the action. FNG will pick up the last hit. Bottom, though, they're making a move for G. Dishes out the Sunstrike, but can he make it away from trouble? The axes come out. No fear. Tries to send him back to base. He goes into Ghost Walk, and he is gone. Back to Fountain he goes. An unsuccessful gank, and they'll have to just settle for the Chen instead. Wonderful work coming out from Virtus.Pro.
Yep, nice sacrifice. I mean, even, do we have a Sunstrike available for FY? In 3 seconds here.
Uh-oh.
They have the Chin's creep, scouting him out.
Can G channel it in? Is he thinking about it here? He TP towards that mid lane to farm it up, but FY looks like he will be denying himself possibly here to the camp, or at least just farming it out. Does have to be careful. Could still be under Sunstrike territory, but it looks like he'll make himself to the side shop. And
I feel like he's saying, please, just try and Sunstrike me so I can just dodge it for all the fans out there.
Yeah, right?
He's like, just come on,
Uh-oh. FNG pops the dust, gets the grab on Yank, pulls him right back into Aloha Dance, who has the finger ready to go, and that is an easy extermination of the pesky spider.
Spiders, get out of my jungle. This is not Harry Potter, guys.
I mean, he had been really doing some work here in the bottom lane, and now Virtus.Pro can breathe a little sigh of relief. They can push this lane back out and kind of get back on the forefront of pushing their own objectives. We saw that big push down the mid lane for the tier 2, but we have not seen Virtus.Pro really be able to kind of cross the river since then. So now they can kind of get more proactive once more, and we're just going to have to wait to see what VG.Reborn's response is going to be. It looks like finally they'll make do with that pesky big stack. ZYF really bulking up on this one. He's going to have his S&Y now complete. And then I suppose you just go right for the BKB thereafter?
I think so. I think you should go BKB. You have the initiation with the Beastmaster as well as the Wind Ranger, who, let's see what Mikasa went for. So it looks like he's probably going to go for a Maelstrom or a BKB for himself. I think as long as you have a good way of initiating, you want to make sure that you go for that BKB first. But if you're feeling like you're pressured and you have to get something done, or you have to be the initiator, then you want to get it. But Yang is spotted out in the bottom lane. Nothing will come of it. It's
they
just,
have Mercy.
It was too far away for Aloha. If he had a Force Staff, that would have been another Quick pick.
If he was MMY, he'd have a blink by now. But Aloha Dance will need a bit more time to build it up now. This guy has been the ward fiend this game, and that's what you got to do, especially when you get to Broodmother. Somebody's got to be buying a lot of sentries, and in this game it is Aloha Dance. He, mad props to him. He had a lot of setups, a lot of gank movement early on, and they're going to continue to not allow this bottom lane to get pressured in.
I'm just watching the spiders die like you are. It's just so funny. They dropped the sentry for that. Man, and like you talked about, it's so annoying playing against, broods, bounty hunters, because you just constantly have to buy those sentries and dust, and it just makes your supports even poorer. But they've managed to find the farm. Mechanism completed now for the Chen. He's going to have that. They're going to have the sustain now for the pushes. And we saw with one-handed God, they were able to save, the Invoker there on G. With the mech now, too, you're going to definitely need the Sven on top of somebody for all those right clicks.
Looks to be an easy tier 1 tower here in the top lane for VG.Reborn. They'll snag that one up. At the same moment, Virtus.Pro will make a go for their own tier 1 here at the bottom. Doesn't seem there's going to be much of a response here from either side, and they'll just make do with the situation as it is. We touch base with Yoku here on his Ember Spirit, being the core player for Virtus.Pro. Already has the Claymore good to go. He's just one step away from getting that first Battle Fury complete, and that will make your Broodmother cringe quite a bit. That ridiculous amount of outspam is going to be a bit of a problem. But now look at this. They go on the smoke. And maybe they're anticipating there's going to be some potential here as the stacks are building up.
This ward is scouting them out right now.
And they know Yang is there.
Well, they also know Sven's there too, rotating over because they had this other ward placed. So they're trying to go for the more high priority target, but unfortunately they could have got Yang, but ZYF, Spidey senses are tingling, gonna back out to the base, and it's just those hesitations as we talked about yesterday from Fog. If you decide you want the bigger prize, it sometimes doesn't work out because they back off.
Yeah. Can't really fault them on that. A takedown of the Sven would have been a huge grab for them, and while Yang would have been just an easy little target, it would have led their smoke to just really going nowhere. DDC will be able to rid of that high ground ward. And they'll know that they can do these stacks in the mid lane. FNG is going to be able to get the snag, pulls back Mikasa right into the finger. A Sunstrike's even going to be there, but not necessary. FNG picks up that one. VP continue their hot streak here, 9-4. All the meanwhile, the farm gain continues here. ZYF will go to the stack, and he is about to have a BKB complete. Is that going to be the timing necessary for VG Gaming Reborn to go back on the offensive once again?
Yeah, I think so. They should just wait for their BKB Sven, so they have, no way he can get locked down in the team fights. And it's just going to come down to Virtus.Pro, initiating first with their Bat Rider, their Lion, trying to isolate him. But they still have a very hard time of locking down the Ember Spirit right now. We haven't talked about it too much. It's kind of like on the backs of the Beastmaster or getting a good Shackle shot. So Yoku that's why you see him. He's 3-0 right now. He's felt no pressure this game because not only that factor, because of the itemization coming out from the Broodmother here. He went for the Midas first into the BKB. So he doesn't force him to get, a Yules or a Manta style on the Ember Spirit by going that Orchid. He's just playing very, safe and standard here from Yang. And, well, maybe going into the later stages of the game, that'll help him be another semi-carry. But at certain times, you have to say, hey, are we going to get too far behind in the later game if we just don't have this mid-game aggression against the Ember Spirit mid lane?
Ooh, FNG. Try to make it go for Mikasa. Mikasa quick to go onto the win run here. FNG this time, though, just came up a hair short of being able to get that lasso grab. We'll have to step back. Broodmother went for the Diffusal Blade here. Could be used defensively to purge off any sort of pesky dust, but also can offer potential there to be able to go on the offensive.
Yeah, it can purge the Lion Hex. It can also purge off the Ember Spirit, Flame Guard. It's a really good spell to get very aggressive. And I like it. I mean, it's just ensuring that you're always going to be able to chase down. So he's had, how many webs does he have? He has 4 webs saved up here. You can constantly spam that out as well. That's adding to your movement speed. And then the Diffusal Blade is just, making sure the enemy can't move. So this is a really good way of just sticking on the targets. And it looks like VGR are trying to just pressure this tower now. They need to make sure that they don't get picked off because it is nighttime. That's when the Beastmaster's Hawk is, a little less strong here. And they're not going to get as much vision.
FY now has his Blink Dagger, so he will wait on the side for maybe a catch opportunity, but VG Gaming Reborn happy to take the free tier 2, and is there any reason to really stop? They're just going to go right for a high ground siege. All the meanwhile, Virtus.Pro, they're doing Roche. It's pretty fresh, though. They might need to backpedal here, but no, actually, VG Gaming Reborn, I think they're onto it. They still have a tier 1 in the bottom lane to TP onto. They head there now. Still about half of the life available on Roche here. Are they going to be able to rotate in and contest this?
Where is Ember's Remnant is right here, so Ember can come back to the team fight. Yeah, here we go. Purge creep stolen. Give me that.
Okay,
They
the
have
Hawk
Blink
knows.
on FY.
Are they going to go for it? He jumps right in, goes
Too
for the roar.
soon.
It's a bit too early, though, for FY. The Roche still stands, and now comes the Mighty Meatball, and the response from Virtus.Pro. G gets the quick kill on FY. The Roche goes down, and it's going to be snagged up from Yoku, and now fight breaks out. FNG caught on the high ground here from Yang. Yang's going to eat a finger, but they get their own turnaround. They quickly try to finish off the line, but they're not going to be able to get it.
Send back.
And now Mikasa
fear.
going to be focused by both. Triple kill for G. Virtus.Pro. Certainly hold wonderful assist coming out from No Fear to pull them out an evacuation that certainly was necessary. And when the dust does settle, it's all Virtus.Pro for this one. FY, maybe just a hair too early on that one.
That just feels so bad. You're like, well, you have an Invoker there. He's just, you know, it's easy to DPS it so fast, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait.
Uh-oh, they found
No, they
ZYF
found-
as well. He walks right for the stun. Aloha Dance going to be able to get the catch. Yoku there as well, looking to burn him down
Mass
with the help of the Flame
TPs.
Dart. Now a rotation in from FY. Of course, he does not have the roar, but they go right for Aloha Dance instead. They are going to be able to get that one. Yoku doing his best to maybe get a bit of redemption right here. Can't quite get it. A remnant up to the high ground. They know he's up there, as the Hawk will go and scout it out, but Yoku is long gone at this point.
I mean, No Fear saved his life, and he's like, I just want to give it away now.
Yeah, right?
Oh, here you go. Here's
Come
a
on.
freebie. But, man, that Roche fight was just so close to being ever so slightly in VG's favor. And it just sucks when you're playing Sven, and then all of a sudden you focus all your attention on a support, and then you don't even get the kill.
Then they're gone.
That's just an exclamation. And G is just playing like a monster here. He's got his Ags already. He has his Blink Dagger. This Invoker is just going to start kiting everyone in the team fights. And
Yeah.
it's just going to come down now to the vision game. Obviously, I think VP is a little bit ahead now because they have the Aegis to work with. Yoku still hasn't been punished at all for his Ember Spirit, just constantly split pushing around the map. And it's just looking for VP. But if VGR, they still have the chance. They have the initiation potential. We saw it from FY there. Don't jump the guns. It looks like Mikasa is going to be going for that Blink Dagger too, so they can have that other stable, thing. And then as well as, Sven, obviously he's always going to bring, the big hits to the team fights. They just have to lock down these targets though.
Yeah, it's a lot of focus fire if they want to be able to get the lockdown for someone as slippery as the Yoku Ember Spirit. And then, of course, they will have the horsepower and damage from someone like this Sven to follow it up. And I am lagging a bit.
Packet loss.
And apparently everyone else is as well. So, yeah, the packets have been lost a little bit. Hopefully we can find them and get back underway here. But for Vichi Gaming Reborn, they have to reevaluate the situation after a hard loss at that Roche Pit fight. They're still able to kind of itemize a bit further. And do they need to take a bit more time to kind of match in the farm, or is it on them to kind of continue to go on the offensive? It looks like they're scouting a potential fight here towards the bottom. FNG will show himself. The second he blinks in, he gets caught out with a roar, does try to force staff away from trouble. Yoku's going to look to intercept, but they've already made their move, and it looks like they are going to be able to get it. It's FNG who does go down, just trying his best to, creep in some farm on the side lane and push it back, and it looks like the packets are gone again, unfortunately, here.
Yeah, just to touch on that, it's just been kind of like the FNG show for like the last, 8 minutes or so. FY has been finding pickoffs, but it's kind of been on supports at the same time, and, this supports coming in from Aloha and Fear, just constantly saving their cores has been the difference maker in this game right now, and that's the biggest problem. You just have to get the cores like FNG there. That's the start that you want, but this guy is saving up 3K bank. What is he going to go for FNG?
That's a great question.
Let's see, they have a lot of single target focus from VGR, so either that's why you see the Ember Spirit going for the Lincolns, and then you also can go for a Lotus Orb if you want to, turn that back onto the enemy. So it's up to him to decide. Maybe he wants to go for those big plays. Ags, baby.
I'm surprised that they have not picked up a gem yet. I mean, do you think that is something they should be considering here? You're going against the Brood, and maybe you kind of, when you're stuck in a situation, you're going against a Beastmaster who can control a lot of the vision game. Don't you want to be taking a bit of the map control back?
Yeah, normally around the 25 to 30-minute mark when you have all the outer two towers and you've already applied all the pressure, you want to start taking away all that vision. So it would be very good for Virtus.Pro to get it. Even on the other side for VGR, I mean, normally you would have the Necro 3 completed on your Beastmaster, but FY is just going a really different build than we're kind of accustomed to. He was forced to go to a Blink Dagger,
yeah.
But at the same time, he wasn't really forced to go for the Vlads. That just helps out tremendously. Obviously, pushing with the Spiderlings, if he's with them, that just additional pushing power, as well as giving the Sven what he needs, extra, life steal here, but
And then, I don't know if you mentioned, yeah, he's got the point booster, so
Ags is just weird for me. I was going to touch on it, but it increases the initiation range, but at the same time, I don't know if it's going to be enough there. Obviously, it should decrease the cooldown there, but it's not. 70 to 45 isn't. I mean, maybe you could realistically get 2 off in a team fight if the kite is real, because that's what VP kind of want to do with their lineup. Like either you kill them instantly with a Bat Rider Lasso with the Lion Finger, but then you have Ember Spirit and Invoker, the kiting kings right now. I mean, you've Tornado work with, so there's just a lot of potential. So I could see 2 wars coming out in a team fight if it lasts for a long time, but I think there's just better things. You still need the Necro 3 for those solo pickoffs, dewarding as we talked about. Even Refresher on the Beastmaster is amazing. We probably need to see that too, because you need 2 lockdowns for this game, because they're. Well, what's all the problem? All right, let's wait. Let's wait, Dakota.
yeah, it's been unfortunate that this happens out on day number 3 here, but obviously a situation where the players, especially when so much is at stake, both these teams are in the lower bracket, and it's an elimination series for either of them. You don't want to be playing with all the hiccups happening right here. I don't know if it's been mentioned yet. I'm looking at Yoku right now. He's got the ultimate orb here. Is this for the Manta buildup or Lincoln's? I mean, I guess could be also something pretty potent here when you have a Beastmaster Roar who's potential there to lock you down.
Yeah, it's 1 Lincoln's for the Roar or 2 Scotty for just a tank. Like he could say, okay, I'm going to be on the front lines as the Ember Spirit, and I'm going to soak up all the damage, and then my Chin is going to be able to save me, and then I'm going to be able to constantly kite this Sven with the slow coming in with the slight, and so it's not bad for either one. I would prefer seeing the Lincolns just to help out with that Roar as we talk about.
But you do make a good point that he might have to be that frontliner, because if you look at the rest of Virtus.Pro, there really is no tanky frontliner at all. I mean,
and that's why he's carrying the Aegis here. Normally you see it sometimes being putting on the Invoker because he wants to do all these flashy plays, and then sometimes he gets a little too carried away and he'll die. But so. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be on Yoku potentially for high ground sieges. Obviously, G can do the same thing, right? You put Alacrity on him. He can go for that high ground siege from the back, blink away if there's any trouble. And so it can work either way for me.
Now, what about for what the Brood needs to do? I mean, it's not late enough where you're in that awkward position where if you're not taking down the base and side pushing a bit, you're not really doing your job. He was able to make a lot of traction in the bottom lane. But where do you do now if you're the Brood? He has not been able to really put a whole lot of use yet to fighting and dishing out a lot of diffusal damage. He bulked up a bit of farm. He's only got 400 now, but I don't think he has anything kind of waiting for him. But what do you think is his prerogative at this point? And by the way, everyone just totally DC'd, so I don't know if they're...
Hey, we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
it don't matter about them. It's about us. We don't have to reconnect or anything.
No. But should he be more involved with the 5-man kind of a game, or do you play it like...
Yeah, he's been playing it like the 5-man, because you can see with his itemization, normally if you go for like the split push builds, like Necro, that's kind of fallen off, but like I even talk about the Vlads on, you see some Broods still go for that. At times when you want to get down the towers, you also can see, like I talked about the Orchid, stock standard, where you can just go for these pickoffs on the supports that are trying to find you, or even the Ember Spirit split pushing around the map. But he went for this heavy team fight build with the BKB first, and I'm not going to say it's not going to work out, because eventually they will need to team fight as 5, because that's what VP are trying to do. But we'll have to see if it works out for him, this skill or this itemization.
And we'll have to see, as still pretty fresh with the Roche right now. It looks like they are going to give it another try after a full reconnect. We'll just have to hope that that is going to be enough to kind of get the ball rolling on this one.
Let's hope this works, guys.
And away we go. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Smooth.
Don't speak too soon here.
Smooth as a baby's butt.
We'll see. We'll see. Both teams for now kind of splitting from top
Yeah,
to bottom.
get that claps.
Let's get back and underway. Big Dota to be played here. It's just game number 1 of another full day of Dota action here.
Where's my Sunstrike?
You know, they really need to add any sort of indicator to be like, Sunstrike's happening over here for an observer, But
a circle this big? Here, look, a circle this big on the...
Yeah, right?
There you go.
I would need it.
That'd be pretty cool, like a target. Yeah.
All right, for in the meantime, Yang back into the grind of farm. Both teams kind of giving respect to the other on what they need to get done across the map. But if you had to gauge who is the pressure on right now to kind of step up and move forward? It feels like Virtus.Pro have a lot of time to work with and can kind of play with the clock a bit, but that's just my impression of it. Do you think that's the case, or can VG.Reborn afford to kind of, you know, farm up a bit before they really need to consider going on the offensive?
Well, you have to at least farm ZYF's buyback. Like, he only has 1,000 gold. He picked up that Blink Dagger, so, I mean, one pick off here and it's just game over. That could have been disastrous for VGR. That could have been game.
Oh, they're still hunting here. Oh, they're going to get a nice two-man chain connection. They lead it with a finger, a stun, but the heal of the Doctor comes out, and it's going to be more than enough. And they'll be able
Oh, they
to
got
make it
no
away.
fear. Shackle and the blink in from Yang. That's a free chin, and his army's going down. Give me that.
Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So it is actually VG.Reborn who will be able to get the successful trade on this one. Very ambitious deep dive there from Virtus.Pro. Not going to be enough to take down the little support, and Virtus.Pro will be down at Chen. I was mentioning about the gems coming out. Looks like they will be able to grab one up. Aloha Dance takes the grab on it. We'll hand it off to FNG. So now they can kind of get the vision back here. Obviously, with that pickoff on the Chen, they do wager there's an OBS nearby. There is one right over here in that camp, and he should be able to spot it out here momentarily and start taking this map back for himself. And what about G now, Ryuu? His Invoker, man, he is sporting nearly 4K of gold at this point. Do you think the lockdown of something like a sheepstick
Yeah,
is
BKB.
necessary?
I think you
or
should go BKB.
right to BKB?
Yeah, I think him and the Batrider kind of have it on point. You just go BKB so you can be the aggressive player, and then you make sure the Sven can't just blink on you and blow you up. So it still just comes down right now for me, for both teams, just initiation. We saw how the Blink Dagger came into effect with the Beastmaster as well as the Wind Ranger, and then you have the Batrider. So whoever gets the initiation right now, it's going to be the win, as well as, you know, the kiting still from Sven. Like, if he gets on top of anybody, they're just going to get blown up.
Lots of execution pressure, especially on the side of Vichi Gaming here. And, well, they quickly pop the smoke, and they're looking to beeline it towards this mid lane. Virtus.Pro are there. But they're also as a full, nearly 5-man. G is kind of the last to show up. And actually, VG.Reborn, it looked like they could have had a potential to cut him off along the way. The Hawk is in the air, heading that way. They'll see the Remnant up there right now.
No, my lag. Not now. Not lag now.
No, not now. As they jump in, they make their move. They're looking to slash apart the Chen. No fear in a bit of trouble. Pops out the mech. Will not be able to use the Hand of God. Will preserve it for now. But the rest of the team in a bit of trouble on this one. The BKB and God's Strength have already been committed from ZYF. They are going to be able to get a jump for the support. Meanwhile, Yoku gets his own jump.
On the high ground.
Yeah, they're pulling up ZYF. He's going to be stranded up on the high ground here and away from his team. And oh no, a very unfortunate time for a little bit of hiccup play here. And they are going to have to pause it. Kale.
G-Kale.
Kale. But this is VG.Reborn now with a 2-man takedown. They are able to kind of force ZYF on the high ground. He does have a TP scroll if necessary, and a tier 2 even here on the bottom lane if he needs to kind of reposition and get back in the lane. But a nice successful start there for VG.Reborn.
Let's see if they can make anything happen. G has the Blink Dagger. Yoku could still come in. He has a double damage rune on Ember. And not having a BKB on Sven is huge right now. But they'll probably just back off. There's no point in risking it.
Roar onto
Oh,
FNG. He's dropped right on the
FNGs.
high ground. Yang even blinking up there. Dominating now for the Yang Broodmother at this point. And
Did FNG try to kill off that? Oh my goodness, not giving the respect over to the Blink Daggers.
yeah,
That is, he had the Force Staff to work with too.
obviously pretty frustrating there for Virtus.Pro. Yeah, as you said, he had the gem on hand. It was handed over, right? Did he dropped the gem at that moment? Huh?
That was a cheap shot. Unpause. Give me that gem. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, gem now on FY, so they don't need to pick
No,
it
he
up
had his own
themselves.
gem. That's their own gem.
Well, then I think it might still be on the.
Oh, so I guess maybe he had it on the.
It has to be on Brew. Wait.
What happened? Where's that gem at? Am I crazy? He did have it last, but doesn't seem to be up there. There's a soul ring on the ground, as if maybe Yang would have grabbed it up, but I don't know. Oh, wait, I think he's standing on it. Is that it right under him? I have no idea. All right.
It's probably under the.
I think he's like dropped it, and he's
Brood.
about to ping it right under his body there.
It has to be under Brood because he dropped the Soul Ring
Yeah.
to pick it up.
That is unfortunate now for Virtus.Pro. They'll be down that extra bit of vision. 2 gems now will be on the side for VG.Reborn. Over here on the other side, they can't really see it right now as we've obviously checking out the stage here while we hopefully get these issues resolved. Yoku and G are hanging around this mid lane. ZYF was just farming down some of the creeps, and I don't know if they're hopefully looking to get a catch onto him before he can rendezvous with the rest of his team, but
I mean,
might
they have
to
a lot
pull
of
back.
burst damage. He doesn't have the BKB. This double damage could be a huge factor in taking ZYF down. This would be very close. I mean, they have so many blink daggers from VGR now that they can just
That guy needs to go to the
constantly-
bathroom real bad, by the way.
Oh,
Sprinting
jeez.
across now.
That guy. He just
ZYF
wanted
wants to go, but I imagine at this point Virtus.Pro want to make sure everything is smooth before they kind of get back underway here. It's unfortunate.
This is where you start constantly typing dash ping, dash ping, dash ping.
Now, look at that. Just with that little swing of momentum right there, it is able to kind of get VG.Reborn back on the upswing as far as net worth. Not anything too dramatic, barely able to kind of get close to 2K in net worth. But is this enough confidence for VG.Reborn to kind of take the game from here on out? Or do you think Virtus.Pro shouldn't be too deterred?
No, it's still like 50-50 for
Yeah.
both teams right now. It's just going to come down to, I think, Ember Spirit getting big and not getting picked off.
He was able to pick up that Lincoln Sphere, so where
Yeah,
do you go
he's-
from here? Do you...
You have to go dataless now.
Yeah.
You have to start getting some form of, additional damage. And normally you start thinking about MKBs only when you're going against heroes with evasion. So you don't have really the Sven. Having the evasion win run is very annoying to deal with as an Ember Spirit. But I think you should still just go to the dataless for the slight additional damage when they're grouped up, as well as just having against the Sven is going to be enough. He's not going to go any butterfly or crazy. But immediate reconnects. This is looking good right now. Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going?
Where's
Mikasa, though, is still trailing a little bit in the farm department, was able to kind of finish off the Maelstrom and Blink Dagger, but hasn't been able to complete anything since then. Still sporting 2K gold. If you're a Wind Runner in this game at this point, sorry, Wind Ranger at this point
I
in the
like
game.
Windrunner more though. Okay.
But what do you build up from here? Is it just finishing out the Mjolnir at this point, or do you think she needs to consider picking up something more defensive aside from just having a Blink, getting a BKB?
I mean, even the Lincolns on their side isn't that bad, right? Because what their initiation right now from VP has been the Bat Rider. You just put a Lincolns on one of your cores, and then you're just not able to do anything. So he can also want to have a BKB. Because if you're at any given moment, Invokers just can blow up anybody, right? That's just the thing. That's the hero. You're just, Meteor, Deafening Blast, and all of a sudden you're just dead. So you're forced into these situations where all this huge magical burst damage and you have to get BKBs at times.
Now, obviously, they were not looking to engage for CYF as he stepped back out. Instead, they will keep the pressure towards this top lane. In fact, these Forge Spirits, which have made many people pretty damn frustrated. I believe it was, Fly, who said, it's always great to play against Invoker and when you have that 5 or 7. I mean, they're even still able to get that tier 3 down to nearly half of its life. That's pretty ridiculous. The split game of this Invoker is pretty damn solid, and they're going against the Broodmother, for God's sakes. So.
Yeah, who's going to be more effective at split pushing?
Right? Speaking of which, the Broodmother, 3,600 gold built up for her. What do we do with that money?
I like AC.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, Sven normally goes for the AC, but it looks like he's going for his own Lincolns for CYF. But yeah, I like AC for the Brood here. It's going to help them a lot against the physical right clicks.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
They have spotted out. Little no fear here. And FY
so close to his
makes
eggs.
the jump, moves in, gets the roar. They even commit the death ward for this one. Look at the response. Yoku looking to make a move in, tries to get Mikasa, but not going to be able to get the grab. The coconut will fly and force him out from trouble. Nice catch on the Sunstrike for FY. FNG gets the lasso connection for Mikasa, pulls him back, but they can't get a finish yet. There they will finally get the finish. They will get FY down. They make it 2-2 right now, but then ZYF turns back, slashes down the Bat Rider, and now it's Yoku being focused between the two. Oh, he cannot rend it over to the other side, and he gets taken down right inside the ancient camp.
Too soon. And he has no buyback.
Oh
They
no,
have-
4 down from the
this
side of
is-
Virtus.Pro, and your Yoku Ember Spirit out for just over a minute. Here comes Vichi.Reborn down the middle lane.
All right, this is not as bad as I thought, guys. There's still an Invoker on the team.
Still
But-
Invoker, still 2-2 to muscle through.
But that is just such a big deal coming out. I mean, that was, almost chin Ags, so we could have had the potential creeps to work with. Yeah, here you
Yeah.
go. Here's the Invoker plays. That's what we like to see.
Hocus Pocus coming out right now. Tornado EMP tries his best to just try to deter him and slow them down, but that tier 2 is going to drop. VG.Reborn will take that win and hustle on back. This Roche is now up, and I can bet you anything that VG.Reborn will look to beeline it back that way. I said this Roche is now up. There we go. Now it's out. They will be spotted out now, and we'll see if they just kind of go right for the Aegis.
Nope. Just blinked on top over it. This is...
I mean, they know it's up.
Yeah,
Attention will be there. Even Virtus.Pro are hustling that way, anticipating that they're going to be going right for it here.
They just do a lot of damage with the Focus Fire now. And the God Strength. They're not risking anything here.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the Inner Beast. There's the Vlads. I can see why FI went for this build. It's just...
I was so close with that Sunstrike, I would not have been surprised if the Radiant sniped that kill, but it is not going to be the case.
Hey, Cheese. All right. Can you just look at the Cheese?
Nice blink dodge from the stun, but oh my god, that hurts to see right there. He just easily shreds him down with,
Wait,
with 3
you
right
know when
clicks.
I was doing camera work the other day, Dakota, can you please look at Roche Pit? No. No, he's going to do it. No.
Oh, they left the
just picked
cheese?
up the cheese for DDC. All right, that's 30 seconds still of my OCD, but that was just kind of weird.
I like how Aaron put it yesterday. It's just sometimes you have to let the cheese age.
The only way that worked is because they had the Hawk still there scouting out the cheese, I think.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, that is funny.
I wonder why that is. Do you think they just kind of lose count of how many? I mean, especially in this kind of game when there's pauses nonstop and lag.
Pauses.
Maybe you just lose count of how many Roches you've actually done. But nonetheless, they'll still be able to get the cheese up for their side. And well, Virtus.Pro, you know, I don't know. Is this already Plan B territory if you're on the Radiant, just kind of pushing out those side lanes, installing things out? They have good, respectable late game, you know, having the Ember Spirit on your team, but
yeah, they have to fall back for the high ground here.
Oh no, another catch for No Fear. He does have his Agnums now, but he does not have his life as he gets quickly slashed apart. ZYF will pick up that one now, 5-2 and 3 on his Sven.
Yeah, they just have to transition into the holding the high ground and hoping that Ember Spirit and as well as the Invoker can weather the storm. And they're just going to have to, you know, just outplay VGR right now.
Now it's all VG.Reborn trying their best to push past
They're
the river.
grouped up. Oh, that's...
Oh, right inside the base. They make their jump. Aloha Dance going to get shredded there.
They are so lucky that Sven did not have God Strength or crit.
He's going to be good. Any reason that VG.Reborn shouldn't just go for a high ground push at this point? Do they need to play it slow?
You just have to be very cautious because of the Batrider blink-ins and the Ember Spirit Sleight of Fist as well as the Invoker. It's very hard sieging against this lineup. That is going to be their toughest task for VGR. So just making sure that VP, because what VP want to do is they want to have, you know, Yoku go out, split push the lanes, as well as you can do it with the Batrider too. And so what they can do is they just bait out VP on the map and they just get these pickoffs and then they force them to, they push it and they make VP buy back, right? So you still have to worry about buybacks and all this high ground defense or the huge high ground defense capabilities from VP. So it's not going to be easy.
Daedalus now complete on your ZYF Sven. Yoku looking to get one of his own, still holds the crit for now, but 2K gold invested that way, and you can bet that he needs to now consider reserving a chunk of that gold always for the buyback. It's just at that critical point. You caught outside your base, you don't have a buyback, this game would be over.
He's going all in, though. He's just going for that Daedalus. They have the courier up here.
Oh, you're right.
This is...
Yeah.
They've been scouted out by this ward, so they're kind of on the hunt. Meanwhile,
yes,
like, look at Yang. We didn't talk about it yet. He picked up the Abyssal probably like 2 minutes ago.
Oh.
That's going to help out with the lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
They have
okay. Ooh, tornado
Gee,
to scout.
he just
He's
blinked
gonna
already.
get stunned. Boom, boom, boom. Even a roar all for him. Wicked sick for ZYF.
Yep, you just wait for them to come outside their base, you punish it, and that's a very bad play coming in from G there. He blinked out to use the tornado, and then all of a sudden you don't have the blink save because I feel like he could have the reaction speed to blink away from that Sven stun. Meanwhile,
now Home is in trouble, but FNG will quickly lasso up the Sven. They pull him back. The Lincoln's going to be popped out. He's just dead. Great defense coming out from Virtus.Pro. That almost looked too easy. And they're even going to get some good damage here for Yang. G is back now. Hops in, Deafening Blast. And it looks like they'll settle for the DDC Witch Doctor. Oh, he eats the cheese. Goes for the Shadow Amulet, but he's making him sweat for it.
No, wait.
And they get the Courier. All right. That's a pretty forgiving trade right there.
Okay. He ate the cheese. What? Why did he eat the cheese?
He seems so flabbergasted. I don't know. I mean, he was as good as dead. I
Okay,
guess
so I
he was
saw
hungry.
The courier came out and gave him his TP scroll. Maybe he thought he was going to get the TP and TP away.
I mean, that's pretty ambitious.
Yeah, that was just that cheesy. But they were able to. That was such a great
Look
play.
at this. Now quickly it's Virtus.Pro going towards the high ground on the northern front.
Nice play from FNG here, just canceling out that Lincolns with the force staff and just dragging him back, and then all of a sudden.
Now look at this. They're going to be going into this tier 3, soon to fall. Sven needs about 30 seconds before he's going to be able to offer a defense for the rest of his team. Now they alacrity up Yoku. There's the jump, the lasso.
It's the
pullback for FY. Primal Roar now out of the equation. Does have a buyback for a minute, and will probably not buy it out until the Sven is back up. And suddenly it's a Rex going the way of Virtus.Pro just when we thought things were crumbling before their feet. But jump in Yang, not going to be able to get the Abyssal catch there for Yoku. They lose their Rax. The Chen army going to work right now, and they will pull it right back.
At least they get
but
no
hey,
fear.
Mikasa will be able to get the jump for no fear, and as you said, they will get the Chen, but Virtus.Pro very happy with the exchange.
Yeah, that's one of those moments where Yang would love to have that back. He got the defusal off trying to anticipate the cancel of the Lincolns, but the Wind Ranger already did that job with the Shackle, and if he had just immediately Abyssal Bladed, they could have potentially got that kill on the Ember Spirit, and they could have set up everything. That's just, one of those things you can't time because sometimes you get the Lincoln Sphere, like, oh, when did it get proc? It was like 15 seconds ago or something. So hard.
Look at the swing of net
man.
worth just because of
This
those
net worth,
Raxes taken down. I mean, Yoku was like, just got his Crystallis and was at 2,000 gold between, saving for a buyback or finishing out the Daedalus. Well, he has that Daedalus done, and he already has 3K gold on top of it. Just absolutely ridiculous. I looked at G, 3K gold for him. This Virtus.Pro squad is pretty damn rich, and this game is just back to even once again. Actually, probably even more the nod for Virtus.Pro able to get that Rex down.
So, still, it's anybody's game. Even though they lost the Rax there from VGR, they're very strong.
Yeah.
And it's just, FY getting picked off there didn't really help. And meanwhile, top lane, speaking of pickoffs.
Uh-oh. They've lassoed up Yang. They're going to be pulling him back into Aloha Dance, who sets him up with the finger, with the stun.
So tanky.
DDC, though, steps in, gets off the coconut, and as you said, this Spider, pretty damn tanky. Goes into BKB, tries to leech up a lot of the life back with the help of his ultimate, and will be fine. That is a BKB down, though.
I wish I could have seen.
Back.
I wish I could have seen Yoku. Maybe he had his Boots of Travel on cooldown, because if he had came to that team fight and rimmed it somewhere else, he could have still went back and farmed.
Yeah.
So if they just had that extra TP and damage, I didn't even think Brood was that tanky. I mean, he just has like a BKB for the health. That's just.
Yeah, BKB treads is really all that adds to it, but you look at the life points, it's not even that dramatic either. 2K, but still not enough firepower there from Virtus.Pro to be able to get the finish. And Vichi.Reborn will be able to.
I think it was the Glimmer Cape. Was it the Glimmer Cape really well timed coming in from the Witch Doctor?
Yeah, possibly.
Because that range, yeah, I think it was. Negating a lot of that magic damage coming in with the finger.
All right. Applaud to the support there from Vichi.Reborn. And now suddenly we are back the other way as they push past the river. Do you think Vichi.Reborn feel more confident that they have the better 5-man fight? I mean, I don't know if you want to be pushing in again towards the Virtus.Pro base when they have that Bat Rider up waiting in the wings. Maybe they might have learned their lesson the last time.
Yeah, I hope they learned their lesson. It's going to be hard for them to high ground siege, right? As we talk about it a lot, you might have to drop something here on Sven. It's going to be kind of tricky what he can drop here. Maybe the Saint Yasha to pick up the Aegis. He can also drop his Boots of Travel, but then he's going to be very slow. They're going to need an extra life on him, though, else he's we could just see that same scenario happening where he just gets picked off on the high ground. But
looks like Mikasa's going to try to follow up with his own share of damage here. Picked up the Crystallis here in the meantime. And will help assist in being able to push out these lanes as fast as possible. And we get back into a bit of a stalemate here and back into the grind of farm. Eyes possibly on the next Roche, which is spawned up right now. Will be spotted out from the Hawk here from FY. And already Mikasa steps into the pit and begins to go to work, just showing the value that Vichi.Reborn have on this extra life. It looks like they will quickly take it down. And actually Mikasa is going to be the one to pick up the Aegis here.
Yep, I think he's better at high ground sieging than Sven, just because you can stay in the very back. You can blink away if you see trouble kind of coming, and then you just have the focus fire. And with the Ags always at your disposal. It's going to be, you know, quick focus fires here and there, so you can disengage whenever you want. Never have to overcommit.
But look at the Virtus.Pro squad really posturing up inside their base here, taking things nice and slow. Look like they might smoke up here after they push this out a bit. Aloha Dance does hold one.
But so far, the itemization, nobody's really messed up a lot this game. It's all been looking very stock standard here. We have the Invoker picking up that Lincoln's just now. It's going to help him a lot where if he pops BKB, there's only going to be two things that can, you know, go through it. It's going to be the Abyssal Blade coming in from the Brood as well as the Beastmaster Roar. So if you're making them use one of them on your Invoker BKB, then you're very happy with that scenario. And then you're going to have to think about this right now. How are you going to bring him down? And we see it's going to be so hard bringing down the Invoker twice if he has the buyback. VGR, this high ground, eventually you're going to have to siege it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, how are you going to do it?
God, it'd be a lot easier if, you know, it's easy to say now, but, you know, if FY was able to kind of string together the farm to pull together something like a refresher to have that extra roar at the ready, but, you know, obviously would not have had the mana pool. Now will, of course, with the commitment to the Agnum Scepter, but.
Yeah, this is really good. It's daytime. You have the Hawk now, could scout out for vision.
Well, FNG ambitious. Blink in and just suddenly going to be shredded apart. That's a gem down and a Bat Rider out of the game for 70 seconds. Whoa. Okay.
He didn't pop BKB first. At least pop your BKB first when you blink in so aggressively like that. I mean, he tried to go for like the play of the century with his Ags, but
wow.
That's the, I don't want to say the fail of the century, but
you know, for the sake of Virtus.Pro fans, I hope that was not the one play that could have cost them a situation here, but surprisingly, even with the Bat Rider going down.
Yeah, they had a TP back because Ember Spirit was, you know, threatening that high ground.
Yeah.
And so now you have ZYF. He managed to push out the lanes, and this is when they're going to still be able to go high ground. 30 seconds still on the Bat Rider.
No threat of the lasso. This is Vici Gaming's time to get the most out of this base push here. Yoku commits in for the Scotty, still has enough farm built up.
Oh, okay, there's the Remnant. I was like, he doesn't have TP for 15 seconds, but that could have been very bad,
He's
too.
here now, Mikasa from the low ground. Just goes to work, a jump in. G caught out with a roar here, and now they go to work. Can they take out the Invoker? He pops up the BKB, but it's not going to be enough. He goes down, 90 seconds. We'll have a buyback. We'll have to use it here. FNG is going to be back up in a moment's notice, and it looks like VG.Reborn will quickly turn and run. Can they make it away? Finger there. FY, though, going to be committing him with a cheese, but oh, man! Yoku slashes them apart with a huge sleight of fist and big amount of damage coming out from the crit. They look for Mikasa here. He does still have that Aegis if necessary. Meanwhile, they're going to get a simultaneous takedown for DDC on his Witch Doctor. A full retreat here from Vici Gaming.
It's just so hard, high ground sieging that. What an amazing play coming out from the Brood, though, purging off that send back from Chen, and they were able to catch G. But unfortunately, he has buyback, and then when you don't have BKBs on your side, you just see Invoker go to work there. There's just no way you can contest against the Invoker, and they use all of their spells already. Like we talked about, Beastmaster needs Refresher at this stage of the game when you have buybacks like this.
And now back the other way for Virtus.Pro as they make their approach down this mid lane. Looking for their second set of racks here. Mikasa out for 5 minutes. A jump in, looking to slash apart Yoku a bit, but they get Yang caught with a nice lasso play. They pull back the Spider and look to bump her down. 90 seconds, does have a buyback, looking to commit it right there, but ZYF already in a bit of trouble here, looking to run and make it away from trouble. Move in from Aloha Dance, good catch with a stun. Can they follow it up? Sunstrike's gonna be there, and they get him down. A buyback is also gonna be forced out from him. This could be the final hold here for VG.Reborn. They've lost Yang again. He's gonna be out for good, no buyback for him, and here comes Virtus.Pro. They put their focus on for the tier 3. Can VG.Reborn stay alive now? Zoning back now with the EMP. ZYF going to be forced to sidestep here, but they really have no easy way of approaching this.
Yoku has 2 lives right now, and he can just come back in. I am so worried. Oh, and then just the slide here you go.
The chains forces them back. They can't do anything to save their base. The Rex are going to be going down, and Virtus.Pro are just one set away from closing this game out with the Megas. Now they look for DDC. A jump in from ZYF. This could be it for them. They can't even get a hold of Aloha Dance. He's able to force a way to safety. He's going to be forced to turn back and run. They look to go for Yoku. They can't get them either. They're just getting messed with right now. Virtus.Pro playing with their food, pulls them back into the Chaos Meteor, and it's going to be Virtus.Pro, it looks like, here from game number 1. What a fight back from them. Vichi Gaming Reborn will be forced to tap out.
I mean, LGD were kind of considered the high ground kings, but boy, oh boy, sieging against this VP lineup now was just, VGR just hit a wall, and they just didn't have any answer for it at all. I mean, even with the Batrider dead, you still couldn't get a Rax? That is...
I'm sure a frustrating game for Virtus.Pro. You're talking of the hiccups, the lag bumps, and it actually looked like it was costing them a lot of trouble. FNG picked off time and time again near that Roshan pit where he handed over the gem, and even getting that very ambitious jump in the mid lane.
Yeah,
I thought that could be the beginning of the end there for him, but as you mentioned, these guys can hold a high ground, and they continue to be on an upward swing here with their battle against Vega.
The new OG.
The new OG?
Yeah, no, it's too soon for that. It's a little too soon for that. But, man, they've been playing some lights out Dota here for their past kind of 3 games, I want to say, because it was just kind of, nothing from them from their first 3. But this is very nice play coming in from Virtus.Pro. I just love watching them right now. It's amazing right now.
If you had to pick an MVP for Virtus.Pro in that Game 1 matchup?
I think for once, the carry does deserve it. I think Yoku.
Yoku really did a spectacular job that game. So with that said, we'll see if the panel do agree. We'll throw it their way. But first, a mini break, and then we'll send it to the experts.